Good dog, and welcome back to the Norwegian campaign in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Let's see, were any of these gonna be successful? No? No, it's just a massive pile of fail all over. Possibly here too. No, wait, didn't they have like 400,000 here? Anyway, we're gonna play a convoy battle and then see what happens in June of 1955. Hopefully what happens in June of 1955 is we get to fight this big task force. But first, this one. Alright. I got two pretty potent light cruisers here. Not gonna need the destroyer. Probably not gonna need Embla either. There we go. As useful as she has been during her career, Orm is simply put just a better ship. And we're fighting a couple of very, very expensive, very big French destroyers. Not that much smaller than my light cruiser, in fact. Let's see, they're almost 7,000 tons. So you could maybe consider this a fair fight. I mean, it's not, but we can pretend that it is. Let's see, I've got a couple of good spreads of torpedoes here that will target one of the transports, and we're gonna hope that some destroyers find themselves in the path of the torpedoes. Probably not gonna be necessary, but why not? And they are now in torpedo range. Odom has already opened up on the enemy transports, which do not carry torpedoes this time around. First spread. Second spread. Gonna have the secondaries take care of the transports, and now put the main guns on the enemy destroyers. There we go, we're scoring some hits with the 7-inch guns. I don't think we're gonna hit the enemy destroyers with torpedoes. Could happen, but it's unlikely. Mainly because there are too many transports in the way. They're gonna eat up my torpedoes. The secondaries are doing a pretty good job with the enemy transports. The enemy destroyers are now launching torpedoes. Let's see, I'm gonna reduce the game speed here a little bit. And they have actually hit me with guns a couple of times. They got a couple of good 5-inch hits on me, hitting my torpedoes. Apparently hitting a secondary gun, actually. There we go, 7-inch guns are firing. .5 is not really doing too much. Are we gonna get some good 7-inch hits soon? Let's switch to AP and at least score some flooding hits. Alright, chance to hit shouldn't be too bad. For some reason I got minus 46 damage instability. I haven't even taken that much damage. There we go. A bit of flooding. Yeah, that will put an end to all your maneuvering. You can see my chance to hit has gone up considerably. And there we go. Nice. Just 4 transports left now. Shouldn't be too difficult. I make the last one surrender as well. Probably. Yep. Amazing how that crew loss counter just skyrockets once your secondary guns start opening up. Alright, that was a 100,000 victory points. Mostly from sinking the 2 destroyers. Yeah, even 12 transports, not really worth that much when compared to the value of those destroyers. That's what, 100 victory points apiece? That's nothing. Alright. Everything looks fine-ish. This is fine. This is not quite fine, but that's because of that big task force. Yeah, we should be good. On to next month. Blockade of Britain by Scandinavia has ceased. I'm not so sure about that. Britain is accusing our country for war crimes. That is 6.7 billion. That's not much, really. Considering how much money I have. Why not? And of course the admiral's getting replaced, and the port strikes. This task force gets to fight a destroyer. I wonder which task force got to fight the big British one. I think we're gonna find out. I was kind of hoping this would be the task force to encounter the main British fleet. Just because I got 6 battleships here. That's a fairly powerful gun line. I was just going to use my cruisers, but the enemy DD has already gotten close enough to start taking fire from the battleships, so why not? Let's just get this over with. There we go. Wolverine is down. That was not a very surprising result. Alright, what's next? Here we go. And that's not a bad matchup. Finally, we get to fight the main British fleet. Irresistible class. 8 20-inch guns. And 91,000 tons. Not bad. And one of the old canopuses that we know and love. Defense class battlecruisers. It's almost sad to sink these. Because I got a good refit design for this already. It would be interesting to see what I could do with one of these. But I think we're just going to try and sink them. We got the biggest battleship in the world. Well, probably. Unless the Germans have built something bigger. Not a bad looking battleship. Hang on, I think I've seen that before. I think I've seen that class before. I would have liked Thorfinn to not be in the lead of the battleship unit. You can now fall in behind Leif Eriksson. A couple of decent battlecruisers here. 18-inch guns. Yeah. I got these originally German-built heavy cruisers. Hang on, yeah, you're gonna follow the battleships. The battlecruisers will just try and go on their own. Because they're faster. Got 4 Vikings here. I will need you. And your torpedoes. And I got another 2 Vikings here. Okay. Nice. Let's see what we're up against. What we're up against is pretty far away. That is their... okay. They're hiding in smoke now. Mark III 18s. Are these old? That is one of their old canopuses that we know and love. That's a pretty old ship. Hopefully I can get my my battleships organized. Are you just zooming ahead at full speed? No, you're not. Good. cannot see their battleships. They're doing a pretty good job hiding them in the smoke screen. Not sure if that's on purpose or if it's just dumb luck. There you go. Let's see. Here's one of the big ones. Irresistible. Mark 320s. Not even Mark 4. I know they have Mark 5s, so this cannot be their latest. I guess they just have been at sea for a while and the AI haven't scrapped them. It's so weird. They can scrap brand new ships that were just launched because they hit some arbitrary tonnage number. But they keep the old ones at sea and don't even refit them. There's a bunch of destroyers and light cruisers and whatnot here. Okay, we're gonna have to smoke up. And Viking 46 actually bounces a shot from its very, very thick armor plate. Let's see. Let's select some targets here. Are you in range with your big 18s yet? No, not really. You can target these ones you are. My Vikings are getting into range. At least these two. Okay, let's select torpedo targets. Hibernia. Irresistible. You are indeed an irresistible target. The rearmost destroyer in this squadron, not quite in range yet. There we go. I think it's in range now. You have a target. You have a target. You have a target. You have a target. All of you have targets. You're free to launch. There we go, my 20-inch guns are starting to hit things as well. Well, let's see, which is what here now. Okay, you two. You have launched, you're done. Viking 48. You have actually also launched. So you can go home. 45. You're still loaded. You got 10 more. There we go. Back to the gun line. What the heck is going on here now? Why are you so far back? Torpedoes are hitting things. That's good. Even more torpedo hits. Excellent. I think I saw an ammo detonation too. Let's see. With the incoming fishes. Or maybe this. Already has a chunk taken out of her. "21 torpedo hits in total. Oh, 23 now. Well, my battleships are forming up. These two can speed up a bit. And so far my torpedoes have done the most. Some of my destroyers have gotten quite badly punished, but that's not a big deal, really. These two light cruisers have seen better days. As has the the British battleship gun line. I don't think there's going to be any need for my destroyers to rearm and relaunch. I'm going to try and get them home alive. Viking 45 might not make it. But that's okay. Let's bring my battleships a little bit closer. The enemy didn't have a lot of destroyers this time around. And the light cruisers do not carry torpedoes. Let's see. Battle cruisers can target the heavy cruisers. That is fine. Battleships. Let's load HE. We're targeting enemy battleships, and they've got that all or nothing armor scheme, so I know you're high penetration HE can get some pretty huge results like that. Yeah, Viking 45 sinks. Not too surprising, all things considered. And you can load HE as well in the 18-inch guns. Albemarle probably won't make it. Royal Sovereign probably also will not make it. Albemarle sinks. Grieg, you can switch to Royal Sovereign. And that is one enemy battleship down. Try and keep the battle cruisers in the fight. Royal Sovereign, probably flawed out now. She does not have the magic foam. Keep her afloat. Irresistible goes down, Royal Sovereign goes down. Grieg, F. Eriksson, and Turfin. It leaves Hibernia way in the back here. She's out of range, so she's not a big threat at the moment. These heavy cruisers can take care of anything that gets close. I got a 10-kilometer range advantage over the enemy torpedoes, so that's not really a big issue. Grieg is up to 71,000 damage. Life Eriksson 43. Turfin 70. Vokter and Iherde not quite up there with the damage. I'll slow you down now, you're in range. But they'll get there eventually, I think. Actually, you can choose your own ammo. I think AP can deal with this. Might not be needed for Trafalgar though, she's going down. Caledonia as well. Grieg. Life. Actually, life. You can target devastation. Eight-inch guns ready to deal with the destroyers once they get closer. Drake sinks. That was 18-inch fire from the battle cruisers taking care of that ship. Maybe I want the big battleship in the thumbnail. Like so. The 8.5 secondaries have opened up. And this is pretty much all that remains of the British Royal Navy. It's not much. Yeah, those poor destroyers. Now getting whacked by 11-inch guns from the heavy cruisers. My battle cruisers can target the enemy light cruisers. That was the last of the enemy destroyers, so torpedoes definitely not going to be an issue here. So far I've lost 2 destroyers. Pretty much no damage taken to my capital ships. Gig has taken like 1 hit from a 20-inch gun actually, but it didn't do much. Got a battle cruiser and a light cruiser. Barossa. How long is she gonna survive this? Being the last target left alive. Longer than I thought, but there she goes. Alright. Yeah, I lost 2 destroyers, took damage on the 3rd one. But overall, the Vikings, yeah, they made it through. Oh, actually, yeah. Big damage here from Hertha. But that's kind of inflated from firing at destroyers. Other than that, good show all around. 8 torpedo hits by Viking 40. Not bad. Like, all of them scored multiple torpedo hits. Impressive. Yeah, like long-range torpedo saturation attacks like that. Pretty devastating. We got Sigurd Ring again. This time against a light cruiser. She's been fighting enemy heavy cruisers one-on-one for the last couple of months. So nice to have a light cruiser to snack on for a change. Well, I guess she might have been fighting light cruisers as well. But that was nice, finally getting to fight that big British task force that I've been chasing pretty much all over the world. I should have just engaged it when it was just sitting outside of Hong Kong for a while. Because they didn't end up beating that rebellion anyway. Let's see. Sigurd is firing. And scoring hits. We're getting torpedoes in return. Might not need to evade them if we can just sink the enemy cruiser before they arrive. Which is about to happen. Yeah. Alright. Who needs to dodge torpedoes? Excellent. And here we go. That's almost a task force. 1 heavy and 2 light cruisers. I think we can take them on though. And we have opened fire. So far only the enemy heavy cruiser is in sight. But I'm sure the rest of the enemy force is following behind. So let's see, 30 kilometers. 1.8 HG penetration. Well, let's not switch to HG until it's at 25,000. The battle cruisers have opened up. That's fine. And there we go. Let's go with HE. See how that works. Should do something. There we go. That did something. That did a lot. And say goodbye to half your ship. Next. Let's have them target the light cruisers. While the battle cruisers target the destroyer. Almost a shame I'm not making more use of the super duper deluxe firing thing with these. It's just that going bow in is just not that effective. And because they typically don't listen too much to my speed setting. Going bow in and then reversing, I found that to be very difficult. But that's still 15, 16-inch guns at the broadside, so that's pretty good. Certainly not bad for only 66,000 tons. Let's see what kind of an impact we're having on these. Spokane is almost down. Needs a little bit more flooding to be convinced. Structural damage, actually. Manchester next. If I can just score a couple hits. Not that far away, even. And there we go. Structural damage in both cases, although Manchester was actually about to flood. Nice. And we get battlecruiser on light cruiser action. And this is my very fast, high-speed battlecruiser design. Doing 36 knots at the maximum. Someone said they liked this design. I wasn't too happy with it when I designed it, but it is growing on me. I think the main thing I didn't like was that kind of limited selection of towers and funnels you can put on it. And despite all this open space here, you can't actually put anything here. No secondary barbettes or secondaries or anything. It's just not possible for some reason, which is a bit weird. It looks like there should be room for plenty of secondary turrets, but she can just manage without. Ended up surprisingly a lot more affordable than I thought it would be. Now we got super duper firing turrets fore and aft. So it's plenty flexible. There we go. Good couple of hits on Tacoma. I think 14-inch guns are just perfect. You get full penetrations with AP without just getting overpens. Well, except now I'm getting overpens. I spoke too soon. There we go. That's more like it. And Tacoma is sinking. Nice. Alright. Now, those were the meetings. Why are these listed as red? They're not enemy ships, they're my ships. I recognize the names. I gained Ceylon. Nice. Britain is not taking Shetland from me. France is not taking Helgoland from me. Let's put these ships here, like So they're inside of both invasion zones. Like so. There you go. You ain't taking shit from me. Now that still says 0. Because, well, it had that big British task force in it, but I should be getting it now. In fact, if I had another 100,000 tons, I would be getting it even with that task force there. Yeah, no, France, you're not getting that. You don't have the ships. I am getting this, though. And once I got that, I need to open another invasion against France somewhere. Or the war might end. Where's New Caledonia? It's here. Isn't it? Or not? Oh, it's somewhere. Anyway, I think I'm just gonna take Corsica. Yeah. Actually, no, Sardinia. Because it's worth more. Do we have any spare ships? You have a battleship here. Which is now free. It's gonna be centered here or here. So let's put that ship here. Accompanied by a heavy cruiser. Nice. Let's see what we got. Convoy battles. 3 of them. Here's the 4th one. Alright. Ingrid versus Constitution. Let's go. Alright, Viking, you're not taking part in this. There we go. I've sunk quite a few of these Macon class American heavy cruisers this way now. In a 1v1. And they open fire first. They've got slightly longer range. Those single barrel 10.3 inch guns. But not that much longer. Let's go fully broadside down to cruising speed. And trust that my belt armor keeps the damage out. Got a couple of good salvos already. Bit of flooding and damage to the tower, but the tower still isn't out. taking damage in return now, but it's that torpedo launch that I'm more worried about. They're not big torpedoes, but that's still a pretty big spread. Now their tower is out. And fire control. They're launching from both sides. Annoying, but that's how they do it. They're turning around too, so I'm gonna take the opportunity, turn and avoid the second spread of torpedoes. Now we're back to broadside, and they have no more torpedoes left to force me to do any weird maneuvers. And with the flooding and the fire control out and everything else, I'm winning this gunfight. And they're gonna flood out. 2%, 0, gone. Nice. Just the transports left. Should not be a big problem. They do have torpedoes though. 20 kilometer, 24-inch torpedoes. Okay. It could be a nasty surprise if you're not expecting it. And suddenly your ship takes a spread of big caliber, long range, stealthy torpedoes. Main guns on the leading transport. Secondaries can open up on island once we get closer. That means coming to within their torpedo range though. Kind of sketchy. But my main guns, even with HE, are just overpenning, so I do need my secondary guns. And now, okay, actually no. Main guns sank the first transport without much problem. There we go. Surrendered. Nice. Alright. Good job, Ingrid. Almost no crew loss either. And we got skidded again. Up against another Macon and 4 Parrot class destroyers. No, actually 3 and 1 Kennison. These are refit Parrots. They're not very fast. Almost as slow as the Kennison. The Kennison is the one that I'm suspecting is one of those Corvette hulls, similar to the ones I designed a couple of episodes ago, where you just cannot get them to be much faster than this. But the Parrots, I think they should be faster, and they probably were before the refits. The AI likes to do that. When they refit a ship, they just, oh, we're gonna make it slower. It's like a downgrade. Refit our big battleships to give them Mark V guns. So they can be useful another couple of decades? No. Refit the destroyers to make them worse? Yes. Logic. Let's take a look now. The refit parrots. 14-kilometer torpedoes. I think they had 20-kilometer torps originally. So that's been downgraded as well. Standard torpedo prop. 18-inch. I also think they were bigger. I mean, okay. Okay. Be like that. This would have been a not exactly even, but it would have been a fair fight, more or less. Just with the enemy heavy cruiser, but with 4 destroyers in the mix. Maybe I should take them on first. They're certainly coming closer. Yeah, they are. They're just coming straight for me. I guess J4803 has a job to do. If I can break the curse of my destroyer that's supposed to be good at fighting enemy destroyers. Maybe it can actually do something this time. Maybe I can hit the enemy cruiser with my torpedoes. That'll be something. Gwyn sinks. Okay, let's drop down the game speed a little bit. We struck a sinking destroyer with torpedoes. Not really the desired outcome. Skidding it, you can set your secondaries to fire at McCall. Fitting because it's a convoy battle, right? Yeah, secondaries are opening up. McCall has the torpedoes at the ready. So it's the one I want to focus. It either launched or they blew up. No. I was looking at the other one. I was looking at mine. Darn it. Embarrassing, but... Alright, where are we at? The secondaries doing work. J4803 almost doing work. Not quite. Guns are not quite in range. There they are. Let's see, if I can use J48 to bait the torpedoes from Boston, then Skirnir will have a much easier task of just staying broadside. Bad idea. I also would like J4803 to survive, if possible. I might have a difficult time getting out now. And Boston has already lost her tower and fire control. Still scoring hits on J4803 though. Yeah. But her torpedoes blew up. And if they were launched, J48 would have spotted them before sinking. I know she launched one bow torpedo, but that missed. The Skirnir is pretty much intact. She's lost one crew member, which is a tragedy in and of itself, but it doesn't really impact the operation. Probably should have gotten this destroyer out of the fight sooner, though. I once again underestimated how blisteringly fast these Macon class heavy cruisers are. And yes, it would actually have been faster than my J48 even before it started taking hits. Alright, we're getting the secondaries into range now soon. Let's just go up to flank speed. These transports do not have torpedoes, so not much to worry about. There we go, that's a good hit. Alright, secondaries are live. And surrender. 2-inch guns almost in range as well. And there we go, surrendered. Nice. Lost one destroyer. I think I can live with that. That's fine. And with that, I think we're done for today. Actually, I didn't need to launch an invasion against France because they've got some active ones against me. So that war would not have ended anyway. But yeah, there we go. We're taking Sardinia, I guess. Shouldn't be too hard to get. And then, after taking southern France, these are going to move out and take western France. And that will basically be the end of France. Yeah. And I hope I take northeast England too, so I can start taking southern England and Scotland. And then I've got pretty much all of Europe under control. Well, except for Germany. And Spain, technically. Minus 40 with Spain. Maybe I can try again to get a war going. They do have a navy somewhere. Here it is. One task force. And I'm pretty sure those ships are kind of outdated because I have not seen them build anything in ages. Probably because they have no money. In fact, they are negative 44 billion. I'm not sure how that works, but there we go. Goodbye, and take care.